Hey, this is Brian, and this is Wait, What BS Is This? And I'm at the corner of Main and Market where I sell my papers. And I'd like to thank all my Patreon patrons and the people who have assisted me throughout the last few years. Today I'm going to talk about the dangers of going after LeBron in free agency. And the reason I'm doing this is because there's been a lot of talk about where LeBron will go after this season. And I'm going to discuss the 5 realistic candidates for LeBron to go to. Now, there are a couple other teams that I'm not going to mention that will probably take a stab at LeBron, but LeBron probably will not go there because he doesn't have a championship window in those teams. So, first of all, I'd like to tell you that I am a LeBron fan. I love his game. I love the way he's unselfish, and he's a naturally great player. However, when you talk about where he might go, and we're going to talk about the Warriors, the Rockets, Miami, staying in Cleveland, and LA. The Lakers, not the Clippers, because he probably won't go to the Clippers unless Doc stays and DeAndre stays, and I doubt DeAndre is staying after DeAndre put his home on the market and all sorts of other stuff. So when we talk about LeBron, you gotta realize that first he has played 45,000 minutes in the NBA. Now, when we talk about the amount of minutes played, you got to give some comparisons, and I looked it up, and 45,000 minutes is a lot. The closest comparisons he has in the last 20 years would be Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant. Now, Tim Duncan has a similar body style to LeBron, and Kobe Bryant has a similar usage rate. So when you talk about we talk about that, they're both Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan are both ended their careers at 48,000 minutes. LeBron is at 45 now, and he's only been in the league for 15 years. So if you project out that LeBron will probably want some sort of long-term contract in order to go to a new team, you're looking at giving up a third of your salary cap, because he'll want a max salary, for someone who has as many minutes as guys who play 20 years in the league. And so you have this, the issue isn't that he won't make your team better, because in the short term he would make any team better. But looking at what each team would have to sacrifice in order to get him on their team, it's not worth the investment. I mean, take the Warriors. There was talk last year about LeBron wanting to be traded to the Warriors or whatever, and that's ridiculous, because they'd have to probably give up Klay Thompson. They'd probably have to give up bench pieces like Sean Livingston and Quinn Cook and other guys that are rotation guys that make the team run. And so what you sacrifice in order to get LeBron as a player might make you better in the short term, but long term it winds up being like a Carmelo to New York trade, where he made them better short term and they still didn't win in the playoffs, and he just crippled them long term. So having a star, getting an additional star player on a team like the Warriors is absolutely problematic, because he closes your championship window. And not only does he close your championship window, he makes you mediocre instead of bad if he goes down. And mediocre players don't really help you win in the NBA unless you get lucky, like the Warriors did with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. But the reality is that making your team better should always be the goal, but sacrificing quality for quantity for quality isn't always the best thing. Now, as I said, I think that if they were to do something like that, the trade would be worthwhile year one, as long as he doesn't get hurt. And given the minutes marks of both Kobe and Tim Duncan, who both really suffered at the end of their career, the last 3 years of their careers from injuries, you're looking at potential. You're looking at a really scary potential for even missing the playoffs if he gets hurt, and if you trade for him and he gets hurt. So you want, we look at this, okay, so the Lakers would be better off not going after him, because he just kind of destroys their salary cap, and while he makes them better, he's not going to make them a championship contender, because they need another guy. Now, if they got Paul George, having LeBron around for a year or two would be great, because they could compete for championships, but they're still a rung below Houston and the Warriors, even with those guys. So LeBron might drag them to the conference finals or the finals, but would they win the championship? Maybe, but it's really not enough for them to justify going after LeBron. The Lakers would probably be better off going after Paul George and someone like, say, DeMar DeRozan, although the way he performed in the playoffs would make anyone balk at potentially paying him for any kind of salary. But someone similar to DeMar DeRozan would be a reasonable comp or a reasonable add over LeBron, because they're probably going to be 5 or 6 years younger than LeBron it will be when they sign him. B, they might not be as good, but they'll probably mesh better with the team. And so, and you see similar problems in every other market that he might go to, excepting Miami. And the thing is that LeBron would be such an upgrade to Miami that it would be worth it for them to probably renounce Hassan Whiteside or someone similar. And so we get to the point where we're talking about value. If you're talking about long-term value, LeBron just simply isn't worth it, because he makes your team worse. He closes any potential championship window if he's there and hurt. He closes any potential championship window for the long term, because you're going to probably have to go over the cap to keep a team worth having around him for an extended period of time, which means more, not necessarily bad contracts, but more contracts that restrict your ability to sign other players. And so the only team he really wouldn't negatively affect is the Cavaliers, but I'm getting the feeling Dan Gilbert is getting sick of him again, because he's losing money with LeBron on the floor, because they have $150 million in tax bills, and it's just ridiculous. So anyway, that's my 2 cents about this. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later, and if you like this video, go ahead and share, like, and subscribe to this video, and you can also become a patron on Patreon, and you'll see these videos on Patreon as well. Have a great day. Thank you.